All right, we are live. I'm excited for my next guest. I'll introduce you in a second here, Dan, even though I just said your name. You guys know the drill. I'm going to share it on my personal page. We're going to get started. Episode 39. Hard to believe, right? Episode 39. This is going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead and share. We tag here. May actually even tag Leanne and Derek.
Yeah, they're the two social media gurus.
Yes, they are. And I'm going to text you. SAVA. Is that? There we are. Cool. Almost there. Last one. And post. All right, we already got a couple emojis here, Dan. You're a celebrity already. I like this.
Nice.
Are we ready? Let's have some fun. And welcome to the Super Terb Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Terb, your local real estate expert with the Terb Group, co banker HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb. And I can't thank you enough for joining me on my 39th podcast where I talk real estate, business, sports, and beer in a triangle. And I've got an awesome guest here today, Dan Savarese.
That's correct.
All right. And cool thing about Dan, he's a board member for an organization that is dear to my heart, the Triangle Beagle Rescue of North Carolina. And I've got 3 Beagles at home, Jingle, Max, and Sparky, all through TBR. And I wanted Dan to come on the show today just to talk about what he does for, like say, TBR, Triangle Beagle Rescue, talk more about the organization, and get to know you a little bit more and why you do what you do. And I'm going to have everyone see your tattoos as well before we get off this.
Cool.
But obviously, Dan, before I start the interview, I always like to do a real estate update with what's going on in the market. As we all know, it's December 16th. If you're listening to this now here in the Triangle. And again, Triangle, for anybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that's Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Wake County in North Carolina. Guys, the market has not slowed down. Sure, people are getting excited about the holidays. They're excited about family. I know COVID is still amongst us, but people are out and about traveling. They're having more parties, seeing one another. But I'm going to tell you a little story that happened to us last weekend. We don't win every deal. We try to. That's why we say who you work with matters. That's why you work with Terb. But we had a property. I say it was a listing. We didn't have this listing, but we were representing a buyer for a home in Cary. It was $400,000. It was a split level, renovated. We offered $70,000 over asking with $60,000 due diligence. And for anybody listening, due diligence is money that you offer the seller, and it's non-refundable if you don't buy the home. It gets credited back to you at closing as part of your down payment. But we went $70,000 over, $60K due diligence. We even offered the seller 45 days seller possession post-closing for free so they could stay in the home, and we didn't get it. I've also heard through the grapevine someone offered $101,000 over asking, didn't get it. So my guts tell me they sold it for about $125,000 over. In saying that, guys, people are renting right now. We have people moving here from out of state. They tell us 70-plus people a day are moving into the Triangle. I think it's more. There's so many reasons why. Good weather, taxes, schools. You have Apple coming, RTP. So it's very popular, but they're already boots on the ground. So that means there's 31 offers, 30 didn't get it. So 30 people are out there looking for homes now. So if you're all thinking about listing, I always tell you this, you'll be blown away on the equity that you're sitting on. And yes, where am I going to go, Terb? We can come up with that game plan. Most importantly, if you just want a no obligation market analysis, reach out to me. Be more than happy to do it. Like I said, just to have an update because we've seen almost a 25% appreciation over the last 12 to 18 months. So that's my real estate update. We always like to keep everybody informed. I'm going to take a quick break. And on the other side, I'm going to have Dan Savarese. We're going to get to know you.
Cool.
All right. And welcome back to the Super Terb Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Terb, your local real estate expert with the Terb Group, co banker HBW, here with Dan Savarese, board member of Triangle Beagle Rescue of North Carolina. Dan, I know everyone's looking at here in Facebook world, YouTube world. Tell everybody again. I know I've said your name about 6 times, but say your name and where you're from.
Thanks, Terb. My name's Dan Savarese, and I am from Raleigh. Live right here in North Raleigh. Right
You're originally born and bred?
No. Born and bred, Syracuse, New York. Moved here in '93.
My claim to fame, at least not fame, but my old roommate's from Watertown.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I've never been there, but I just when people say Syracuse, he's a big Orange fan. My Panthers are playing up in Buffalo.
Yep.
It's not getting well. It's gonna be cold there.
They're my Buffalo Bills.
I know it's not gonna be good. Hopefully Allen won't play.
Watertown's way up there.
It's up there. It's almost Canada, right?
Yeah.
So how long has Triangle Beagle Rescue been in existence?
So Triangle Beagle Rescue is a breed-specific rescue started in 1999 in the Triangle area.
Okay, 1999. Okay, that's great. And it's just for the Triangle. And when did you get involved with them?
So I could tell you a long story, but I'll make it kind of short. Right after I moved here in '93, I found a dog like a lot of people do on the road. It happened to be a beagle. He was a young dog. I had him for 15 years, and in 2009, when he passed away, I told my wife Tina, I said, I really would like to do something to give back to these animals. I see a lot of them on the road. You see, a lot of them, unfortunately, hit by cars. And I wanted to do something to give back and to kind of memorialize my dog Junior, who was the original one that I have. So
and that was the Beagle.
That was the Beagle. So 2009, I reached out to Triangle Beagle Rescue. Just did a Google search, reached out to Triangle Beagle Rescue, and got started just getting involved with them. Shortly after that, within a couple months, Tina, my wife, and I were both offered board positions with TBR, and I've been doing it ever since.
That's fantastic. I mean, and so when you say, because you say board member, and Leanne Tinbush is a great friend. I'm gonna give you a little backstory how I met Derek and Leanne Tinbush. Okay. They're very good friends of mine, but I met Derek through poker.
Yeah,
I'm a poker player too. You are great. Yeah. I love tournaments, and me being a former coach, basketball coach, I always like learning, and I was like, I need a training site that is specific to tournaments, and there's Tournament Poker Edge. And then I look at the pros or the people working there, and I see Derek, and I see he lives in Cary.
Yeah.
And so I emailed him like, hey man, do you coach? And so he had me over, and we play, first time I met him, we became,
he's fantastic.
Oh yeah. And we became instant friends. And through that, I knew they were already involved with TBR. I've always loved Beagles as a kid. My first dog was a chocolate lab. Santa Claus actually brought him to me, third grade. But I always loved Beagles. And so anyway, long story short, 2015, Jingle came into our lives.
Yeah.
They actually, Derek and Leanne fostered Jingle. My wife didn't know she was getting a dog at the time.
Oh.
And I got my mother-in-law in my corner, and before you know, we had Jingle come in. And then we had Jingle now. We just celebrated her 6th year gotcha day on the 14th.
Oh,
so we had pie or a cake, or the dog cupcake.
Yep.
And then about 2.5 years ago, we got Max, because we wanted Jingle to have another Beagle.
I remember Jingle. I don't know if I remember.
Max is a good boy. Is it Gene? I'm trying to think who fostered. I apologize. Mine's gone blank. But then Jingle's getting a little older, and we wanted Max to have a buddy as well. And then we got Sparky. Nice. We got Sparky probably around August, and he was pretty skittish. But another dog you guys saved. And I'm telling you, I couldn't imagine ourselves. I have actually a son and a daughter. But my wife makes fun of me because I react faster to the dogs if there's an issue. I have him in the vet within 30 seconds,
right.
And like your kids can be falling. I'm like, just put some dirt on it. But we couldn't imagine they're an extension of us, so we appreciate what you do. So I don't know if you really address this, but what do you do within your organization now?
So primarily now I do the computer stuff, the technical stuff, not the social media stuff. That's totally Leanne, and there's some other people who handle the website as well, or the front end of the website, but it's back end stuff, databases, and more technical stuff.
Do you help with any
keeping
adoption?
All the records? I don't do.
All right.
I do foster, and my wife and I have been fostering, so we do that part of it. But the adoption piece is primarily Jody. She does a good job. She's the adoption coordinator. Then we've got a great group of people that I really want to recognize as our application coordinators. And they do all the, they process all the applications, the phone interviews, the home visits. They get all the volunteers to do all that stuff. That's just a lot. It's a ton of work. I used to do it way back when in 2009. I used to do it all by myself. And now there's like 5 or 6 people who do it because we have just really grown.
Would you say a lot of people come pretty far away to get the Beagles?
Yeah. So over the past few years, we've noticed that we've kind of saturated the market here in the Triangle. So a lot of the applicants that we get now are from out of county or out of state. We have adopted, I think, 2 dogs to Alaska.
I heard about that, actually.
California, we will adopt to anyone. The caveat there is that we're not shipping a dog out to you.
Get it.
They've got to come here and get the dog and, coordinate all of that transportation.
So in total, how many people are involved now with Triangle Beagle Rescue?
Oh, with including volunteers, because, there's the fundraising team and there's a
and you guys do this teams. With no money, like this is nonprofit. I mean,
definitely nonprofit. Yeah. We are all volunteers. There are no paid employees with Triangle Beagle Rescue. We do not have a facility.
That's what also makes you guys unique.
That's the other thing. And so when I say we don't have a facility, that means that all of our dogs are kept in individual homes. So we get volunteers who say that they would like to foster an animal. We will pay for that animal's veterinary needs while they're being fostered, but we ask that the foster pay for food. We do try to get donations and things for the food, but we do ask that they pay for food. But yeah, no facility. It's all just the life's blood of any rescue organization like ours is our foster homes. And currently we don't have enough foster homes.
I see those messages all the time, and we're not home enough to help in that. I mean, plus, I think I'd have 37 dogs.
Yeah.
I know most fosters, I commend everyone that does foster. I know it's emotional when they go, but I know, like, the talking with Derek, for example, he's like, it makes us happy because the dog's going to a good home. Usually the foster fails. I know, like, Derek Lane have Spot, who's great, but he wasn't ready to go to a home, so he had adjusted well in their life, in their house. What do you do outside of TBR? Do you have another job that you do?
I do. I work for Wake County Public Schools.
Oh, cool.
I do computer stuff out there. I actually.
So you got your hands full.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely got my hands full. But yeah, I'm going back to fostering. I think it is something that a lot of people fail at the first time, but I really encourage people to foster. And the reason I do is it really does give you a good feeling when you know that a dog that you've taken. We take dogs that come with no hair, or they come all beat up. We've had one of my foster fails right now has a broken leg that he got when he was in a car accident before we got him. And you see them, you nurse them back to health, get them healthy, and then get them off to a good home. It's bittersweet when you get a dog adopted out of your home. You've had that dog I had a foster for 3 years. Got her adopted. She lives out near Charlotte now, and she's still alive and doing well. But that feeling of I've taken this dog and nursed it back to health, and now it's going to a good home.
You've done your part.
And the other thing is you as the foster get to make that final decision as far as who is going to adopt your dog. It's not like they're taking the dog away from you and saying, oh, the dog's going to this home, and you don't even know anything about it. You have that say. When we have a foster animal in our house and someone's interested in adopting it, our process is to take the dog to the home, the potential home, and do that meet and greet, right?
And you do the site visit too. So
the site visit happens before we even do that. Yeah. So there's a phone interview and a home visit before that, and then the site visit we call it a play date or whatever you want to call it. We introduce in the potential owner's home. We introduce the dog to the owner and the animals or children or whatever they have, and then the animal. What we do is we don't leave the dog there. So I will say, and this is just my policy as a foster, I don't leave the dog there. I'll go and I'll bring the dog there, and we'll talk, and we'll evaluate things and see how things are going. And then I'll say to a potential adopter, look, we're not going to leave the dog here today. We're going to go home, let you sleep on it. We don't want to put any pressure on anybody. We don't want to stress anybody out. So we go home. 8 times out of 10, they call us and they say, yeah, we really want that dog, right? Because we look and we're trying to match them up. Jody does a great job of matching up homes with dogs. But our primary focus when we're adopting a dog is finding the right home for the dog, not necessarily finding the right dog for the home. We're focused on the animal.
Yeah, and I love it. No, the process is great. Even us getting the third dog, we already had 2 dogs in the house. We went through the same process, just to know that they're going into a good situation. What I also like about what you guys do is no questions asked. If for some reason it's not the right fit, you allow them to. You say, bring the dog back to us. Don't take them somewhere else.
Actually, we require that.
Okay, yeah, that's a great point. But I like that you kind of have a peace of mind as an adopter. Like, okay, if this isn't working, I'm calling you back.
Yeah, if something happens,
and you don't want something to happen. I mean,
the dog ends up, biting someone or biting one of your kids, and you're scared, and we're not going to let you take that dog to the shelter. That dog comes back to us, and we will deal with it. We'll figure it out.
I remember we got Jingle. She had severe separation anxiety, and she bonded to me quickly. And it was December, because I'm home more, and I would go to like a Panthers game, and she howled the entire time I was gone.
Yeah.
But what helped her was a thunder jacket.
I
remember calling Leanne, going, I don't know if I can do this because it's not fair to my wife, and so we didn't want to use medication as well. So we go get this thunder jacket, and it was like night and day. It was like unbelievable, and it was also a sign when we were about to leave. She probably wore it for a few months, and then she got comfortable. But when she saw it was kind of like, okay, crate time, right? We can relax. So that is that.
Those thunder shirts are fantastic, and that's good. That's a local company from Durham, I believe.
That's awesome.
And I can tell you a little bit more about those thunder shirts. They have a great deal on the thunder shirt. They say that it works for separation anxiety, for thunder, fireworks, on about 80% of the dogs, and they're not paying us. We're not sponsored by them or anything. I just like the shirts. They say it works for about 80% of the animals that you try it on, and they say if you buy the shirt, which was $30 or $40,
like that.
If you buy the thunder shirt and it doesn't work, you can bring it back. They'll give you a 100% refund, and that slightly used thunder shirt will be donated to a rescue like us.
I love it. Yeah, we use it for Sparky for the fireworks. He's good, and then Max, he chills. We have no problem relaxing, so we're good. But yeah, it was that saved us with Jingle Bell, as we call her.
Yeah.
So what would you say Triangle Beagle is the organization makes you separates you from other organizations?
Honestly, right now, I think the thing that really separates us is the dedication that we have from our volunteers. We have a super, super dedicated and engaged community of volunteers with Triangle Beagle Rescue, and that's really a lot in part, or that's the reason for that is because of our social media. Leanne, and how much that she does. She's just absolutely fantastic.
TikTok channel's off the charts.
Yeah,
by the way.
I mean, it's crazy. I know that Leanne, when she joined us, she didn't know much about social media or much about any of this stuff. But Derek was the social media guy for Lonerider, right? Yeah. I'm assuming she learned a little bit from him along the way. And she has just really, really done a fantastic job of promoting us. If we get a dog, and the other thing that makes us unique is that we will take in the really hard cases, the dogs that are heartworm positive. A lot of rescues will not even take a dog that's heartworm positive. They just say, no, we don't want to deal with it. We will take those in. My foster right now is going through heartworm treatment. And we'll do that. The really bad cases where the dog needs, an $8,000 or $12,000 surgery, we'll take them in. There's a vote with the board. We'll say, well, this dog needs this, and we'll try to raise money, social media. So thank God for our community.
I had fun with it on Giving Tuesday. Did it for we raised $600 through Facebook.
Nice.
Derek, I know, does an annual charity stream on Twitch for his poker.
Yep.
And he raises a lot of money. I know you guys are always doing that. The one thing that I will also say is when you get the dog, that's peace of mind knowing you don't have to worry about some things. For example, when we got Jingle, she had cherry eye.
Yeah. Yep.
And originally had it operated on, but it popped back. And I remember Leanne saying, "Do you want to take her?" Or you want to wait. I said, no, I want her, for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But then you guys lined up the next surgery at a place in Cary. They did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
She had a little bit of a reaction to when she got spayed. Anyway, what I'm getting at is you guys make sure everything's taken care of.
Absolutely.
And the cost to adopt a dog is, in my opinion, so minimal for what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and the veterinary stuff is really handled well. Whitney Walker, another one of our board members, she's a veterinarian, and so she really handles and coordinates all that stuff. Our volunteers are fantastic, just taking care of everything. We've never had issues with dogs. Somebody having a health issue with the dog after they adopt, they can always come back and talk to us about it. If it's something that emerges after they adopt the dog, it's not something that we take care of. But anything that was a pre-existing condition, we try to take care of.
Oh, you get. So how many Beagles do you have? I think you may have already said this. Currently, how many do you have?
No, currently I have Beagles. I have 5 dogs at the house. I have 3 Beagles of my own. I have one 17-year-old Chihuahua, and I have Jess, who's a current TBR foster.
That's a good combination there. So why do you love Beagles?
I guess it's Junior. Junior was my first guy. Junior's the guy on my arm right here.
Show everybody if you can see it. There it is.
There's Junior.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Who's on there? I want.
This one's Samson. I can tell you the story about Samson. Here's Samson. He's another one of my boys. Now, Junior and Samson are both not with us anymore. So I'll tell you a story. This is a little story about how I really got involved and how I think the Beagles stole my heart. It was late summer 2009, and right after I had gotten involved, and I got a phone call, or maybe I saw a social media post about a laboratory in Core Peak, North Carolina, which is in nowhere, North Carolina, that was being shut down because PETA had done an internal investigation, or a covert hidden camera kind of investigation, and found some abuse was happening at the lab. There was an unknown number of beagles, rabbits, horses, pigs, other kinds of dogs, cats, whatever. There was all these animals. We knew that they were shutting down the lab. We didn't know what the result was going to be from that, what was going to happen to all the animals. So I don't know how I did it, but I ended up calling the doctor at the facility. And this was on a Thursday morning. And I called the doctor and I said, I would like to come and get as many of these beagles as I can. What can I do? And he said, well, if you're not here by noon tomorrow, we're going to euthanize the animals.
Oh my.
So we immediately scrambled. Again, our volunteers are awesome. We immediately scrambled, called all our volunteers, called people to set up temporary foster homes. We must have had 15 or 20 cars and vans and each animal had to have a crate. So we had crates packed in cars, and we drove out to Core Peak, North Carolina, stayed there all day. They were very nervous. They didn't want any bad press. They didn't want any publicity, no pictures. So we had to stay across the road. Long story short, we spent all day there. We ended up getting 36 beagles that day.
That's awesome.
And we didn't leave the parking lot until every animal in that building. Now, it wasn't just Triangle Beagle Rescue. It was dozens of other rescue groups from all over the country.
They're all coming.
Everybody came from all over the country to get these animals. It was amazing. When we left, not one animal remained in that building. So
what's cool is I know we've met before, but this most we've gotten to know each other. And I can tell people that are listening, you can see your passion oozes out because another question I always ask a lot, I ask people is why you love what you do, but it's pretty quite evident why you love what you do, and that's
dogs,
to help those the ones that don't have voices.
Yeah,
So what do you see TBR? I know there's a lot of people that are involved, but where do you see TBR in 5 years? Do you guys have certain goals to reach, or?
I think as long as we're saving lives, as many lives as we can save, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
That's awesome.
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. There are other rescues out there that have facilities that pay people. And I guess for me, I think that's okay. I think it's a great idea. And if it works for them, great. But for us, what we've got going is working, and it's working well. The one thing that I would really like to see is more foster homes. homes. If we had the more foster homes we have, the more dogs we can save. It really comes down to that. So in 5 years, I just would hope that maybe we have more foster homes. There has been talk of a chapter in Charlotte, but we would need dedicated people in an area like Charlotte to start that branch or chapter. So that would be a difficult thing to do. I think it would be great, but it would definitely be a difficult thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, for the dedication and commitment, there's no question. And the story you told about going to rescue those dogs from the laboratory.
It was a laboratory.
What do you have another story that stands out? Like the question I have is the coolest story you've been a part of with TBR. I mean, I know that was an amazing story. Is there another one that comes to mind?
So the other one that I can think of is my personal foster, Roxy, who I was saying I had a foster for 3 years. So this was way back before the Core Peak. This is right when I started. We got Roxy, and she was a completely broken dog. And I'm sure you've seen them, right? Mm-hmm. Terrified of everybody, particularly men. Large, thin foxhound. She might have been 3 to 6 months old when we got her, but she was a large dog. Beautiful, sweet, bonded with me, bonded with my one of my other beagles, bonded with my wife. We just loved her so much, but we knew that where we were, we have a fairly small house and a fairly small yard, and she's a big dog and needs to run. We knew we weren't the perfect place for her. We thought about adopting her many times, but we never did. And we got her adopted once.
Helen's saying hello.
Hey, Helen.
That's awesome. Thanks for the comment.
We got her adopted once, and she came back because she was too timid. Mm-hmm. And they said she just stayed in her crate. Well, I understand that she stood in, that's the way she was. She was just terrified. And then we found another adopter for her, got her adopted out again. And she and the other dog that she was supposed to be partners with did not get along well. So she came back. Again, now this is just breaking her even more. Yeah. So one day, family calls and they said, yeah, well, we want Roxy. And they're out in Mooresville, which is near Charlotte. And they came to Raleigh, and they were super nice people. And they said, we think we really want Roxy. They met Roxy, and things seemed to go well. And so Tina and I took Roxy, put her in the car, drove out to Mooresville. And I remember talking on the way there, and we said, I know what's going to happen. We're going to bring her there. And typically what we do is we'll leave the dog at the house and go have lunch or something and see how things go when we're not there. So we left Roxy at the house. We had lunch, and we said to each other during lunch, we know what she's going to be. We're going to go back there. She's going to be under the bed. She's going to be terrified, shaking, and the family's just going to say, we don't want her. Well, we drove back up into the driveway. We knocked on the door, and we said, how's Roxy doing? And it was the mom, and the mom said, I don't know. I think she's upstairs playing with my son. No. So we went upstairs, and there she is wrestling on the bed with the little boy. That's my dad. And she's wrestling on the bed with the little boy, and I'm happily ever after story. Just fantastic. She
bonded with the boy.
And they come back for Beagle Fest and our events all the time, and they're great. And they send us videos. They do agility training with her. She's got a sister looks just like her now. It's just awesome.
I love it. Well, cool. I can't thank you for coming on. You're not done yet. Okay. I have some rapid questions for you. Cool. I ask all my guests. Then we'll take a small break. Then I feature a local beer.
Okay.
In this case, you'll know who I'm going to feature.
All right. I'm a big beer guy.
All right.
I've been
cool.
Home brewing for decades.
Awesome. Well, we're going to be hanging out more. So favorite restaurant?
Here?
Anywhere.
Favorite restaurant?
Anywhere.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, I got some good questions for you. Oh, there's Derek. Derek's saying hi.
What up, Derek?
KB, as we call him.
I don't know. You have to come back to me on favorite restaurant.
All right. Then favorite food.
Favorite food is probably, I'm sorry, it's chicken wings.
Chicken wings. What, hot or flavored?
Buffalo.
Buffalo, but is it Buffalo? Okay.
Hot.
All right. Favorite
Hotter
band.
the better.
Favorite band.
Favorite band.
I just threw this question in. I threw a little wrinkle in.
Oh, that's a rough one. Let me go. I'm gonna throw back 80s to you and go Genesis.
Whoa. He just was on. Phil Collins was on tour not too
Yeah.
long ago. Favorite sports team. Is that the
Buffalo
Bills?
Bills.
All right, we got it. Like I said, we're playing this weekend. I'm not holding my breath.
I don't know. We lost our last two.
Yeah. What do you like to do when you're not helping Beagles find their forever home?
Man, what do I like to do? I love to hang out with my cul-de-sac friends.
Oh, you just hang out.
I just love it.
You said you like poker too.
We love to play poker.
KB, if you're listening to this, let's get a game.
Play some tournament.
We can
poker.
do a Triangle Beagle live poker charity.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Love to play poker.
Yeah.
Love to hang out with my Beagles. That's the best. Hanging out with my wife in the cul-de-sac.
That's cool. No, that's
All the little kids, I love them.
Favorite movie. Now I know there's genres, so there could be. But the way I like to phrase this is the movie you come across on the satellite or TV or whatever. It doesn't matter where it is in the movie. You just start watching.
Yeah, Jaws.
Oh yeah. Need a bigger boat. Favorite place you visited?
Crete, Greece.
Oh,
yes, for my honeymoon.
How about somewhere you'd love to go you haven't been to?
Love to go. Haven't been to Ireland.
That looks gorgeous. Yeah, I'd like to go to Scotland with my dad. Turbot's a Scottish name.
Yeah.
He and I went to. I'm a big history buff, history major. But we did the Beyond Band of Brothers tour in 2016, and we followed the steps of the Easy Company. We went to Normandy, Bastogne, Luxembourg, Munich. It was amazing. It was awesome.
Nice.
You can have dinner with two people, dead or alive. Who you have dinner with?
Two people.
Mm-hmm.
Not a political guy, but I think I want to go back to the 80s again. I love my 80s and Ronald Reagan.
That'd be cool.
And I guess let's see, second person, Churchill.
That'd be when we went. So, big Panthers fan. 2019, obviously pre-COVID. The Panthers played the Bucks in London, and I always told my wife whenever we go play there, we're going. So my dad went.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And my best friend, one of my best friends, went. And right when we got off the plane, we took an hour nap. We went to the Churchill. Have you been to London? Okay, they have a Churchill museum, or where the bunkers were. You know? Awesome.
Oh yeah,
they didn't even open that thing up for 650 something years.
Yeah,
but it was where they were staying during the Blitz, and it was a Churchill. He'd be someone to have a beer with.
There's a 3-part document. I think it's a 3-part documentary. Maybe it's a 2-part documentary. Anyway, it's called The World Wars, and it's on the History Channel.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and the story about Winston Churchill is
amazing.
Great.
Yeah,
and how he
liked his cigars. All right. Lastly, I ask everyone as well before the rapid question segment I started, but I always ask this question, never a wrong answer. I always say if and when the Super Tour podcast retires, I can make like a book with everybody's comments. But the best advice you've ever received, and by who?
Best advice I've ever received, and by who? I don't know word for word, but I was taught by my dad to work hard and be nice.
Hey, can't go wrong there.
Yeah,
I like it. Any last words you'd like to share before we take a break?
Fosters, guys. We're looking for fosters.
Why don't you tell everybody real quick? Obviously, I'll tag everyone when we edit the post, but maybe how they get a hold of you.
Yep.
Or find out more about adopting or fostering.
Tri Beagles. We are Tri Beagles on Facebook, at Tri Beagles on Instagram. I hope I'm saying all this right, Leanne. And tribeagles.org is our website. We are desperately looking for fosters, so there's an application in there on the website. We could definitely use some homes. Very cool.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
For the podcast people out there, the audio style, so they can hear my commercial. It's really cool. And we'll come back and feature local beer of the week.
All right, sounds good.
And welcome back to the Super Terb Podcast. I'm your host, again, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Ida Turbo Group, Coldwell Banker HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb. And I still have my featured guest, Dan Savarese, with me with Triangle Beagle Rescue of North Carolina. And I wanted to feature my local beer of the week. I've featured this company a lot with different kinds of beers, but I figured today was fitting with how much they do and how much they're involved with TBR, and that's Lonerider Brewery. I know you do a lot of events. I've been there. You have Beagle Fest, different fundraiser. It's a great venue. Triangle. I apologize, Lonerider Brewery guys. I know you've heard me talk about them, but They have 2 locations, one over in Raleigh, which is by the airport, and the other is actually what they call the Hideout over in Wake Forest. But they just do a great job. If you're looking for a great brewery to go, they're local, got several draft beers on tap, different options, whether you like stouts, ales, ciders. Now they're even getting into the liquor game.
Distillery now, yeah. Their eggnog is phenomenal. I don't know if you can get it now.
Like
yeah, you got to try that.
I had my Halloween party there. I rented the little area where the brewery is on the patio. So
nice.
They're a good, they used to have the food truck there. But go check them out. I'm obviously going to tag them on the social media page here. If you go, tell them Terb sent you. Just have a blast. And most importantly, guys, they're dog friendly. You can hang out with your dog, bring them along. But go check them out. I want to say a big thank you again, Dan, for coming on.
Thank you.
It's great to have you come. And lastly, I know we didn't really touch on this. You played Santa for your Beagle shoot.
Yes.
The picture of our thumbnails, jingle.
Yeah, so I saw that. So, I will say, and I'll give you guys a little insider tip. So we try to do, Tina and I, my wife and I, are Santa and Mrs. every year. We try to do a different themed Santa every year. This year it was Santa in pajamas. I don't know if anybody out there was there, but I'll give you a little insider tip for next year. We're going to try, if it's not too hot, we're going to try to do Disco Santa next year.
That will be awesome. And we'll make sure we go. We just got to make sure we give Max car medicine. My boy has a hard time in the car.
Oh, yeah.
But Jingle and Sparks, they're okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, if you like the podcast, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. And most importantly, as I said before, if there's anything we can do to help you as well in the real estate front here in the Triangle, we'd be honored to have the opportunity to help you on any questions you may have. I hope everyone listening and watching has a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We may get one more episode in before the holidays, but if not, I'll be back after the new year. And if you're at all thinking or you want to be on the podcast, if you're a local business owner, have a charity, entrepreneur, you're a coach, email me. I'd love for you to come on and tell your story. And it's Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Ida Turbo Group, Coldwell Banker, HPW. And as always, guys, remember, who you work with matters. Have a great day. See ya.